Welcome. We're here to talk about OpenEdge database monitoring. You need more than a VST browser. So in this session, we're going to talk about some of the thinking behind creating an OpenEdge monitoring tool and why you cannot simply point a generic tool to the OpenEdge VSTs with some simple SQL queries. We're going to show you how we've incorporated these techniques into ProTop and how you can take advantage of some of the lessons we've learned along the way and hopefully benefit from that. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tom Bascom. I've been a Progress user and a roaming DBA since 1987. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm a curmudgeon here at White Star Software, where we provide expert consulting services related to all aspects of Progress and OpenEdge. So, why do we monitor? Well, the reason that we monitor databases is primarily so that we can identify reliability and robustness issues before they become problems for the business. We focus on reliability first because being fast but wrong is not helpful. You want to focus your improvement activities on keeping things in good shape, making things better, but especially focus on what's actually important, the parts of the application that are being used and that contribute to performance problems or reliability and robustness issues are the ones you want to focus on. You don't want to just randomly change things. It's always helpful to have historical data so that you can do long-term trend analysis and see how things have been changing over time as the business has grown or contracted, hopefully grown, or as you've made changes to the environment around the business to see what that impact has been on the database itself. That historical data is gold when something goes wrong. So you may have been running along just fine for years, and then all of a sudden things start misbehaving. Looking at the historical data can give you a ton of insight into what changed and why it's causing a problem, which is really helpful because when you have multiple parties involved, you might have a hardware vendor, you might have some system administrators, you might have some storage people. Having data about what has changed and what's really going on goes a long ways to avoid finger pointing and keeping everybody focused and on track. So there are some options for monitoring OpenEdge. Every OpenEdge installation comes with Promon. It's free. It's part of Progress's distribution, but it is kind of arcane to use. There are a lot of tools out there, you've got Nagios, Zabbix, and so on and so forth. And you can connect those to your OpenEdge database using virtual system tables and REST calls and techniques like that. But the problem with them is that they don't know anything about Progress. They've never heard of OpenEdge. They don't have any built-in connectors for OpenEdge. There's no simple way to just click on a button that has OpenEdge on it and magically be up and running. There was a nice talk in 2019 at the Barcelona Pug about building some OpenEdge REST API calls for Zabbix, but unfortunately, there's no download available for that presentation. Okay. So to summarize, if you're going to have useful monitoring, you need to have the ability to identify and prioritize the issues that you're monitoring. You want to remove as much noise as possible from the environment so that people can focus on what's important. And you're going to need to add context and enrichment to the raw data that you have available to you. As you're using the VSTs, you'll find that there's a lot of context that you need to add that is outside of the raw VSTs. You can't just take the VSTs and spit them out. You need to join in data from metaschema tables. You probably would like to take data from ProUtil DB analysis, ProUtil describe, places like that. In a lot of cases, you're going to derive useful metrics from the raw data. So you're not just going to use the raw data, but you're going to calculate a percentage, or you're going to look at the rate at which things are happening, because the sample interval is also context. It's a lot more useful to know what's happening right now than it is to know what the total amount of activity is over 6 months or a year or whatever. Although it's also useful to know what those long-term things are. Usually you're much more focused on the here and now or the what's about to happen side of things. So ProTop has already done the work for you, so why reinvent the wheel? Go out and download ProTop, check it out, have some fun with it. It doesn't cost you anything. You can look at quite a bit of the code if you are curious about how things work. We provide that for people if they're interested in that kind of thing.